Cities have risen and fallen over the centuries. Today the crisis is very different. Increasing population is forcing rural to urban migration, and the cities are swelling beyond their capacities. 55% of the world's population is concentrated in cities, and that number is expected to rise to a staggering 68% by 2050. As one of the most populous countries in the world, India needs to address the challenges of creating and maintaining cities that are sustainable, smart, and healthy. Further, in order to promote manufacturing, there is a need to create state-of-the-art plug-and-play infrastructure which can match global standards and thus attract industries to set up their base. The Industrial Corridor project is a pioneering solution for India's development crisis. It will effectively tackle the wide-ranging issues for employment, industrialization, manufacturing, sustainability, and urbanization. As one of India's largest infrastructure projects, with a proposed $100 billion investment with an aim to provide world-class sustainable infrastructure for promoting manufacturing and industrialization, one of the immediate objectives of the Industrial Corridor project is to offer a robust transportation-led plug-and-play industrial ecosystem which will give a boost to manufacturing and provide more and more employment opportunities. The project has been de-risked with all the clearances in place, making it easy for investors to set up their manufacturing units and improving process competitiveness by providing the best-in-class industrial ecosystem. This dream is being scripted in the heartland of India, and it starts with the aim of unhindered last-mile connectivity. The dedicated freight corridor is the artery for a whole new industrial ecosystem, connecting greenfield manufacturing hubs and smart cities on the western side. India's vast rail network of 1 lakh kilometers has enabled the movement of goods and people through history. The next few decades in India will see a migration that will move away from the existing metros and will also lead to modal shift in the transportation of goods from road to rail. The project will attract people from rural areas to these greenfield cities in search of a better life and job prospects. By fostering professional knowledge and training skills among rural migrant and urban poor, the regional population will be diffused along the length of the corridor, thereby easing pressure on urban resource and enabling inclusive growth. The 3,300-kilometer long dedicated freight corridor is a roadmap for the future that will connect the different smart cities across the country with ports and other manufacturing hubs. The Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, or DMIC, will be connected by a 1,500-kilometer long Western DFC. It is a project that will usher in a new era of GDP growth and development in the country. The underlying idea is to optimize the employment potential of the region by stimulating investments in manufacturing, promote overall economic development through creation of high-quality infrastructure. Transit-oriented development will ensure promotion of walk-to-work concept connectivity to end consumers and users and reduce logistics costs, thus improving the manufacturing competitiveness of India in long run. New greenfield industrial cities are being built in the dusty heartlands of India. These smart industrial cities of tomorrow start at ground zero. Once complete, they will carry India into a new era of development. These smart industrial cities are templates for a future-ready India and will mark its rise on the global stage. Manufacturing hubs are the building blocks around which the rest of the city will develop organically. This will eventually give lead to a mixed-use development with commercial and residential settlements. The 4 cities in the first phase of development include Dholera Special Investment Region in Gujarat, Aurangabad Industrial City in Maharashtra, Integrated Industrial Township Vikram Udyogpuri near Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh, Integrated Industrial Township Project in Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh. From planning to execution, sustainability is the keystone of each greenfield industrial city. The aim is to get everything benchmarked against the world's best. The plan is to construct roads, underground utilities, treatment plants, administrative buildings in a sustainable and eco-friendly manner, using latest technology at par with global standards. Across the world, while the city above ground has grown and changed, it is the city below that remains the biggest challenge. New cities are defined by cutting-edge utility network, and template for this lies in the underground planning. Ease of doing business in these smart industrial cities will be facilitated by efficient energy and communication solutions. High voltage electrical trenches, a citywide Wi-Fi and fiber-based network will ensure cost-efficient power and high-speed internet. Drains and sewage lines are designed keeping in mind rising sea levels.
Generally what happens in other cities that every time what they have to maintain, they have to dig up that particular road, they have to cut the BC, again they have to backfill, again they have to do the bituminous layer. So all those things will be avoided, they have been well thought of, and at one single point all the plot owners will be getting lot of access to multiple utilities. If you see in this road itself, we are seeing multiple utilities at the back. These are the chambers. We have basically stormwater drain, that is one huge duct. We have the power duct. We have the communication duct, then we have the potable water networks, then we have the recycle networks, then we have the industrial effluent networks, and then we have the sewerage networks. So basically I think 8 to 9 networks, ducts under the roads at one point. So the service providers will just have access to the ICT chambers. They have to just open the lid from the top and they can do their entire cabling, their maintenance. So there will be no digging further for any service provider who wants to provide services to this particular area.
One such utility is water. Water is one of our most valuable resources and one that is fast running out. And self-sufficiency in water management is one of the biggest solutions offered by these smart industrial cities.
Now here we are also using a sustainable development in the sense that the entire water wastage which generally happens in cities will be reduced here because we are going for a complete water leakage management system. This stormwater drain network will be taking the entire rainwater discharge to the canal, which will be man-made by us.
Water is a renewable resource. Most of the wastewater will be recycled and will be used for non-potable purposes like landscaping, cleaning, washing, etc. All utilities including water are controlled via a central SCADA system, and everything is mapped on a single grid and will be managed, controlled and monitored by a central command and control center.
The information, this is censored totally by level transmitters, your level sensors, your flow meters, your pressure transmitters, all will be fitted on this line. So all those sensors will send their signals to a central command center. And all the other areas are also connected with that command center. So water treatment plant, whatever water inflow will be there can be watched at a single point by a single person in a screen.
A central command and control center will allow 24/7 monitoring and uninterrupted supervision of urban civic utilities in an integrated manner. A plug-and-play existence will improve the happiness index of residents as well as facilitate setting up of new businesses.
Maybe it may be a paper mill or a railway coach factory or any other factory. They will also be getting access to all the utilities at a single point.
Piled garbage, clogged drains and rivers, and overall waste management is one of the biggest challenges today. The use of advanced technology to handle waste collection and disposal in these smart industrial cities addresses all these issues through its intelligent design and meticulous planning.
This place is central waste handling facility. The total waste which collected from all the plots, that will be collected over here through 508 MS pipe, and it will come over through that pipe and it will get diverted into two fractions like wet and dry. So once we throw the waste on the dry waste, it will detect that one, this is dry waste, and that signal will be, we will get in our central handle facility.
In the near future, there'll be no need for physical collection and overground transportation of garbage. All the waste will be directly suctioned through vacuum pipes segregated for wet and dry waste. This will be transported directly to a central handling facility for recycling and further processing.
So ये vacuum नहीं है तो हमारा system नहीं है. So we have 5 fans over here. By our SCADA system, it will detect how distance it is and all, and accordingly these fans will work and it will create the vacuum inside the pipe.
The dry waste will be segregated and sent for recycling. The recycled byproducts can also help generate some extra income. The wet waste will go to the biomethanation plant, where the organic garbage will be converted into biogas, which in turn can be used for electricity generation, and a very small percentage of the mixed waste will be sent to the landfills. All the infrastructural support system in these smart industrial cities is created with the purpose of ramping up industrial development and growth. The idea is to identify existing gaps in Indian cities to develop something that is far more effective. These smart cities will mark the convergence of new generation technologies with infrastructure and industrial development. Every smart cities development story is one that carries its various stakeholders, from the high-value industrial investors to the small farmers. These success stories are tied to the land and how it was pooled to build this city.
અરે ભાઈ પહેલાંની જિંદગી તો વાત કરું ને સાહેબ, તો પાણી પીવા નહોતું મળતું, પછી ખાવા પૂરું નહોતું મળતું. બહાર ગામ જતા ખોદાણ કામ માટી કામ કરી અને પેટ પોષણ કરતા. હા, અહીંયા અમારે જો ધોલેરા શહેર બને ને મોટું તો અમને ફાયદા ઘણા જ છે ને હજી ફાયદા શરૂ થઈ ગયા છે. એક તો અમારે આ આડો બંધ જ છે. ખારું પાણી પહેલાં આવતું ને દરિયાનું, એ પહેલાં અટકાવી દીધું. ખારું પાણી બહુ પીવા લાયક તો નહીં જ તે સાહેબ, તો અમે એ પીતા અને અમારા બાપ દાદાએ અમને એ રીતે મોટા કરેલા. આ જે બધી યોજનાઓ પડી ને એમાં અમારે 50% તો ખેડૂતને જમીન રહેવાની જ છે. એટલે 50% જમીન જે માણસોએ અમુક વેચી છે ને એને બહાર વિકાસ કરી આપ્યો.
The relationship between a farmer and his land is deeply emotional. It is a bond that has been created over generations and decades, tilling the same patch of earth. The first and the biggest challenge was to convince the farmers to give up a portion of their land and become stakeholders in the smart city that would be developed here. Chotu Bhai was an ordinary farmer in a village near Dholera. He claims that his success story is tied to how he pooled his land for the building of this smart city. When the rains failed, most villagers would have to trek to the cities in search of daily wages. Despite owning many bighas of land, the yield was just about enough to support the needs of the family.
8 साल पहले इस गांव में एक भी मकान पक्का नहीं था। 8 साल पहले बहुत परेशानी थी साहब। पीने का पानी नहीं मिलता था पूरा गांव में। पीने का पानी 2 साल पहले इस गांव में नर्मदा का पानी गवर्नमेंट ने 2 साल पहले दिया। आज 24 घंटा पानी मिलता है 2 साल से। पहले तो पीने का पानी था ही नहीं। एक 2 महीने हमारे ये दादा परदादा के हमें 3 महीने हमें नहाते थे। ये 15,000 लीटर का टैंक है, ये भर लेते हैं। और पानी का तो बहुत सुख हो गया है आज के दिन। 2 वर्ष से पूरा पानी 24 घंटा गवर्नमेंट ने दिया है। पहले फ्रिज नहीं था। यहाँ हमारा 50% जमीन के ऊपर पानी देगी गवर्नमेंट, लाइट देगी, रोड देगी, गटर लाइन देगी और गैस लाइन देगी। उसका पैसा गवर्नमेंट एक पैसा लेने वाले नहीं है।
Chotu Bhai barely made it to middle school. He says pooling his land for the Dholera Smart City project has changed his life forever.
पधारो साहब, आइए। ये हमारा ऑफिस है। धोलेरा प्रोजेक्ट जो हुआ ना शुरू सर, उसके बाद ये सब हुआ है। पहले कुछ नहीं था। मैंने भी मजदूरी बहुत की है, मिट्टी काम मैंने बहुत किया है। पूरा ये टाल पड़ गया है। हमारे पास ज़मीन तो बहुत थी साहब, पर इसके दाम नहीं था। 2009 में ये प्रोजेक्ट साहब आया ना, बाद में यहाँ ज़मीन का रातों रात 24 घंटे में 25 गुना हो गया। यहाँ 1 लाख रुपया था, डेवलप नहीं हुआ था उस टाइम पे। आज के दिन 15 लाख रुपया बीघे का है एक्टिवेशन जोन में, हमारी नज़र के सामने है। तो वो पैसा आया न, तो पहले हमने तो एक भाई पहले अच्छा घर बनाओ। यहाँ पहला मिट्टी का मकान था मेरा, इसमें आधा पैसा गवर्नमेंट ने मुझे दिया। उस टाइम पे मेरे पास भी कुछ नहीं था, तो ये गवर्नमेंट ने आधा पैसा दिया था। आधा पैसा मैंने पैसे खेत बेच के ये घर बनाया और बच्चों को पढ़ाया।
Today, Chotu Bhai's children are pursuing further studies in the city and have hope of finding future employment in the new industries that have been set up.
અત્યારે તો ભરપૂરી દિયા હશે બધાય પણ એમના ભાગ અમારા ભાગ નથી કહેતા. એમના ભાગમાં છે બધું ભગવાને.
Just like Chotu Bhai's family, many farmers belonging to the surrounding villages have newer opportunities today. These smart cities are trying to create a progressive template. The idea is to better lives. From that of an ordinary laborer to a CEO, each project is aiming to set new standards for the safety and living of their workers, with prefabricated housing and proper food, water and sanitation.
पहिल्यांदा शेती काम करत होतो. शेतीतून पैसे एवढे मिळत नव्हते. 50,000 भेटायचे, पण त्यात खर्च बराच येत होता, एवढं भागत नव्हतं. नंतर मग कंपनीत लागलो. कंपनीत 8,500 पेमेंट भेटायला लागले. कंपनीत गेल्यावर आपला फायदा होईल, याच्यामुळं आपलं काहीतरी घडू शकतं भविष्य. म्हणून मी या DMICत गेलो आणि तिथं कंपनीत जाऊन हे जॉब धरून एक असं काम केल्यानंतर मग घर बांधलं. छोटा शेतकरी आपण, 3 एकर आहे फक्त जमीन आपल्याला. और विचार कम बँकेने लोन दिलं. घरात कधीच नव्हतं असं होईल म्हणून आमचं वाटत भी नव्हतं, स्वप्नात नव्हतं सर. ऐसा इतना ऐसे बड़े बनेंगे, ऐसा हो जाएगा, ये अपने को कुछ नहीं था, लेकिन हो गए नसीब से. नसीब अच्छा है इसलिए हो रहा.
From construction workers to technicians and other support staff, there are a plethora of jobs which will get created and one that the local economy can greatly benefit from.
हमने दिखाई दे रहा है कि आने वाला समय हमारा बच्चों के लिए बहुत अच्छा है.
અમને અમારા વાલીઓએ તો પૂરું અમે વાલીઓને જિંદગી જીવવાની કંઈ ખબર નથી પડતી. 2 ચોપડા ભણાયા. અમારી 60 વર્ષની ઉંમર થઈ, બરાબર સાહેબ, પણ અમને એવું લાગે અમારી પ્રજા કંઈક કરશે, કંઈક વિકાસ કરશે, કંઈક જિંદગી જીવશે હારી, એવું 100% છે.
Auric in Maharashtra is spread across 10,000 acres and is a model for India's new manufacturing hubs. Designed with tech-enabled clean, reusable and recyclable infrastructure, Auric has a clear vision for targeted economic growth. Auric City's strategic location and its road, rail, port, airport connectivity has already attracted several investors. Perkins, which is among the world's largest diesel engine manufacturers, is one of the early entrants in Auric City.
The factors on which we decided Aurangabad as a place for this facility, that is Perkins India Private Limited, one of the requirements was obviously infrastructure, development, good technical people. There are, I think, more than 100 engineering colleges in and around Aurangabad, and if you take Pune also, it goes to more than 300. So availability of technical people, availability of suppliers, and a great infrastructure with the development of a smart city around Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor makes just the right thing to do to have this facility in this place.
This smart city met all the criteria in terms of infrastructure, development and availability of skilled manpower. Single window approvals allowed industries to set up in a record time. Today their factory is up and running and production is well underway.
I am interacting with the DMIC Auric City for almost 3 years now, right from the conceptual stage to whatever they have developed now. I see a lot of governance around that. They have a good administrative system and they are working almost like a corporate. That brings a whole lot of change in their approach. It is no more a typical so-called bureaucratic way of doing things. Ease of doing business is really very good. Whatever they are doing is very much accurate. I am personally enjoying that approach a lot. I am feeling that they are working like corporate, which is always with the approach to find out solution or to provide solution to the industries like us. And that makes our job more easy. And then we remain always committed to this city. And our dream is not to remain here for 2 or 3 years. We want to see 5 more decades or more than that in this area. So we want to flourish and along with the people here.
Kotol Films is a tech-based Indo-American joint venture specializing in polymer films. They are one of the earliest entrants in Auric and have been running their factory over the past 4 months.
So DMIC puts in an advertisement for the plots they want to sell. You go look at the plot, you select a plot and you apply online. There is a portal and you interface with Auric City through that portal. And the status at all stages is very clearly available on the portal. The things that you need to comply are also there on the portal. Once you comply, it automatically gets closed. And since it is an auto-generated response, the response is very fast. You don't need to take appointments, you don't need to go and wait in anybody's office. It all happens from your laptop. And when you apply within 10 days, they have a land allocation committee meeting, where all they want to make sure is that you're not a speculator, you're not buying this land to sell at a profit later on. Once they are convinced that you are a genuine manufacturer, within 10 days of the land allocation committee meeting, I got an allotment letter.
For a small company like Kirti Thermopack, which makes packaging material for industries, setting up in Auric offers great opportunities for the future. Anand Daspute is a man with foresight. He saw the expansion potential that Auric offered for his small-scale business and chose to move here.
मैंने जब काम स्टार्ट करा उसके बाद में कोई भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं आया और एक्सपेंशन के लिए जो है तो पूरे ड्राइंग वगैरह जो भी फैसिलिटी हुआ उन्होंने कहा था उस तरीके से ऑरिक ने प्रोवाइड करी है हमें। ऑरिक को जब अपन पूरे डॉक्यूमेंट स्कैन करते आपका क्या मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है वो जब स्कैन करते तो उसी टाइम में बहुत सारे एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट भी होते हैं कि उनके नॉर्म्स में नहीं बैठा तो वो नहीं करते। बाकी जगहों का जो डिफरेंस है ना तो यहाँ पे कोई भी एक ही एप्लीकेशन में सब मिल जाता है। समझा अभी हम MACB को एप्लीकेशन करेंगे तो इमीडिएट लाइट मिल जाती, पानी का ये करो इमीडिएट पानी मिल जाता है, हमें जाने का कोई काम नहीं है किधर।
A smart city like Auric promises high quality and uninterrupted power and a continuous water supply, things that are essential for heavy industrial manufacturers.
As far as the power is concerned, what they have is from their substation, the power comes to a RMU. Now, supposing there is a failure, so they can cut off one supply and supply to that RMU from an alternate place. So the supply can be restored maybe in a couple of hours. But my experience with the underground power cable is it hardly ever gives you problem. It is the overhead conductors which give you problem. Every rainy season, there will be problem.
अभी बहुत जगहों पे जो है तो कंपनी का जो वेस्ट वाटर है वो कहाँ छोड़ना, तो ऑरिक ने ये फैसिलिटी ये करा है कि हमें आपका वाटर दीजिए, वो जो है तो फिर रीयूज करके फिर हम आपको जो है तो दे देंगे.
In these smart cities, dedicated pipelines carry untreated water directly from factories to a central management facility. Here, up to 50 million liters of effluents and wastewater are treated and recycled for use on a daily basis.
So what do you need to run an industry? Essentially a reliable power, reliable water and communication.
A plug-and-play infrastructure allows things to function smoothly. And since everything is on the central ICT system, quality and maintenance are under perpetual check.
They have got a huge piece of land which will be allocated for housing. So sometime once the business settles down, sometime in the future I want to buy some land there and build apartments for my staff. So my staff will be able to walk. And if you have seen the kind of infrastructure they are planning, you will have shops, you will have schools, you will have playgrounds, you will have everything. This will be a self-contained city.
ये जो है तो यहाँ पे जो इंडस्ट्री आने वाली है, अभी मैं जो है तो यहाँ पे सिंगल ये हूँ कि थर्मोकोल मैन्युफैक्चरर हूँ, तो यहाँ पे जितनी भी इंडस्ट्री आएगी पैकिंग के लिए उनको ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं रहेगा, क्योंकि कोई भी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फैक्ट्री आती है तो उनको सबसे ज़्यादा ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इसका देना पड़ता है, क्योंकि हल्का ये है और इसका वॉल्यूम ज़्यादा है, बोले तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा पड़ती है. उन्हें ये चाहिए कि हमें 100 फ्रिज बनाना है, मैं 100 ही आइटम उनको भेज सकता हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे भी ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कोई ज़्यादा नहीं, ये सब 1-2 किलोमीटर के अंदर ही है.
It gives me a competitive edge over the people who are not located in this freight corridor, because my transportation cost and the delivery time will be better than the others. See, what happens is if I am sending material to Delhi today, it takes anywhere between 5 to 7 days. For those 7 days, that material doesn't belong to me or the customer. It is a dead investment for 7 days. Just imagine the entire industry, 7 days of dead investment will be thousands of crore rupees. So the freight corridor is going to be an immense boost to the industry. So you could reach all the destinations up to Delhi fast.
This industrial corridor is focused on improving logistics and creating infrastructure ahead of demand. With another thousands of kilometers of highways being built under Bharatmala project, a new India with super connected smart cities is becoming a reality. Today, the western and eastern dedicated freight corridor will span out across the country, connecting the greenfield cities with airports, ports, metros and other centers of commerce and industry.
If you take a look around, you will see that in the next 10 to 15 years, this is going to be stupendously big. This is going to attract investment from all over the world. Co-founders of this company is an American company, and my American partners vouch that such an industrial park doesn't exist in America.
The growth potential is unlimited as more and more manufacturers set up their factories here with complete support from ancillary businesses.
When I came to Ori first time, it was actually wonderful because this is the first greenfield industrial park in India. Maybe it will take some time to develop more and more, but what I'm feeling at the first time, it will be very, very great industrial park. Will be. Ori City, they support a lot. when we met, whenever we need, they always support. If we ask something, they do action immediately. You know, in actually Oryx City, we don't need to get environmental clearance. The AITL already got permission from central government. My friend from Korea, from China, from Europe, I always recommend you can make it in India.
India's potential to become a manufacturing hub is bigger than China, and these greenfield cities are bringing this reality closer. These dry and arid lands are transforming into cities of the future. Each city carries with it the local cultures and stories of those who live and work here. These are cities linked to people and their dreams. And for some, their dreams are already coming true. These greenfield cities hire local youth and train them in different sectors, depending on their skill sets.
मार्किंग नाइफ स्क्रैपर बोलता है, उससे क्या होगा? इम्प्रेशन करने के लिए मार्किंग रहेगा ना, पेंसिल से निकल जाएगा। तो ये क्या है? ट्रैश। उससे क्या होगा?
Apart from creating opportunities for the local populace, these cities are also generating employment across the board and bringing in skilled and unskilled labor from around the country.
स्किल लेबर 3 महीने में तैयार हो रहा है यहाँ पे। 3 महीने के कोर्स में हम लोग उनको इमेजिनेशन सिखाते हैं, प्रैक्टिस करना सिखाते हैं, साथ में क्वालिटी काम करना सिखाते हैं। यहाँ पे लगभग 120 लड़के तैयार हुए हैं। हर 3 महीने में 20-20 एनरोल कर रहे हैं। और वो 20 लड़के 3 महीने के बाद अपने रोल में चले जाते हैं, जहाँ पे हमको फॉर्म वर्क या तो अलग अलग ट्रेड में सिविल वर्क का काम होता है। इसमें हम लोग 20% उसको क्लासरूम स्टडी सिखाते हैं, जिसमें ई लर्निंग होता है, और 80% प्रैक्टिस हो रहा है। इसमें हर एक स्टेज पे सेफ्टी रहता है, क्योंकि जहाँ से लेआउट चालू होता है, हो सकता है साइट कंडीशन के हिसाब से सेफ्टी की ज़रूरत हो जाए। तो शुरुआत से लेकर एंड ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट, जब वो डिसमेंटलिंग करके वो साइट पे जहाँ तक यार्ड तक ना पहुँचे, वहाँ तक वो सेफ्टी का रूल्स रेगुलेशन चालू होता है। इसके लिए हम लोग ने हर स्टेप बाय स्टेप एक सेफ्टी का एक गाइडलाइन बनाया हुआ है, जिसमें हम लोग जहाँ जहाँ ज़रूरत पड़ने पर उसको प्रोसीजर के हिसाब से उसको रिमाइंड करते हैं।
क्या लोगों को ये फ़ायदा हुआ सर, हम लोगों को लेबर यहाँ से 20-25 किलोमीटर बाहर काम को जाते थे। फैक्ट्री में कहीं कम लगता था, नहीं लगता था। DMIC आने से फ़ायदा होगा हमारा कि जितना भी लोग बाहर फालतू घूमते थे, न कर पाते थे, वो काम सब लोग काम को लग गया था हमारा। पहले हम लोग यही काम करते, पहले शुरू से यही काम करते। पहले हेल्पर था, उसके बाद में छोटा सा कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हो गया, उसके बाद में बढ़ गए। उसके बाद में कुछ गाड़ी भी ले लिए, ट्रैक्टर है, JCB है। अभी 100-125 लेबर है।
ये जो घर दिखाई दे रहे हैं, ये पहले है, ये पुराना है। पहले ऐसे ही थे क्या? पहले पुराना ऐसे थे, टीन के पतरे, सामने लकड़ी का है।
Land pooling and influx of people has given rise to new business opportunities. Livelihoods have transformed over a short span of time as farmers have turned into big and small entrepreneurs.
इंडस्ट्री आने की वजह से हमारा पूरा ये बदल गया, लाइफस्टाइल बदल गई। सब हमको अच्छे लोग मिलने लगे, उनसे हमको राय मिलने लगी। हमारी पढ़ाई नहीं, अभी ये 10वीं तक है, मैं 12वीं तक पढ़ाई वाला है। पढ़ाई ज़्यादा ऐसा कुछ नहीं हमारी। पहले तो हम 2000 के आसपास तो खेती करते थे, तो 2002 को मैंने एक रिक्शा ले लिया। तो रिक्शा चलाते चलाते मैं थोड़ा हाईवे पे मेरा ज़मीन है, थोड़ा ज़मीन है, तो उसमें क्यों मैं एक रेस्टोरेंट नहीं डालूँ। तो 2005 में मैंने थोड़ा सा डेवलप करके थोड़ा सा रेस्टोरेंट डाला, तो हरी मैट डाल के पत्रे डाल के रेस्टोरेंट शुरू किया। हमारे गांव में कुछ नहीं बिकता था, हमने ज़मीन खुशी खुशी दे दी, जो डैमेज है उनको खुशी खुशी दे दी। उनकी जो पैसा है इधर हमने इन्वेस्टमेंट किया, तो उससे थोड़ा पैसा डेवलप करते करते रेस्टोरेंट भी बढ़ा दिया। फिर 2012 में रेस्टोरेंट तो बड़ा कर दिया, तो उससे हमारा धंधा बढ़ने लगा। ये डेवलपर से वो आने लगी, मेरा तो हौसला बढ़ते गया, तो कुछ तो फॉरेनर आने लगे खाना खाने, तो मेरे पास उतना सुविधा नहीं थी। तो ये हिसाब से मैंने वो पूरा गिरा दिया पहला रेस्टोरेंट। अभी ये नया रेस्टोरेंट अभी बढ़ा दिया।
His neighbor, Bhav Sahib Dhadage Patil, has similar rags to riches story. Auric's business boom changed his life from an ordinary driver to the successful owner of a transport business.
इस प्रोजेक्ट में अपनी 240 हेक्टेयर ज़मीन पूरे गांव की चले गई। उसके अंदर मेरी खुद की 20 एकड़ ज़मीन गई उसके अंदर। फिर वो पैसे आने के बाद 2011 में मैंने और 5 ट्रक खरीद कर लिया। काम बढ़ते बढ़ते चले गए। फिर बाद में एक रोलर ले लिया, बाद में 2 JCB आ गए, अपना ग्रेडर आ गया। बढ़ते बढ़ते 2010 से 2019 तक आज मेरे पास यहाँ पूरे 25 टिप्पर, 5 रोलर है अभी, और 2 ग्रेडर हैं, JCB 4 है, और पूरा आदमी मिला के हेल्पर, ड्राइवर, ऑपरेटर, इसमें अंदर 7 इंजन है बोल के 68 है, बोले तो 68 लेबर अपने पास अभी काम कर रहे हैं। पहला जो घर था मेरा लकड़ी का मकान था, पिताजी ने जो हाथ से बनाया था वो लकड़ी का मकान मिला था। लेकिन अभी इनका जो पेमेंट मिला है, पूरा पेमेंट मिलाने के बाद मैंने पहले एक तो 4-5 गाड़ी खरीद कर लिए, और उसके साथ ही वो गाड़ी का पैसा आने लगा, और कुछ ज़मीन का पैसा मिला के रोड के सामने एकदम बढ़िया बिल्डिंग बनाई है। जो अभी गांव में कार मिलने से हर घर के अंदर कार आ गई है, मोटरसाइकिल आ गई है, काम इधर उधर जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं, पूरा हम यही गांव में काम करते थे। स्कूल में जाने के लिए हमारे पास तो पहले तो साइकिल भी नहीं थी, पैदल जाने का और पैदल भी आने का। अभी तो हमारे बच्चे एक कंपनी आने की वजह से अभी मेरे बच्चे ही सुधा भी इनोवा कार है, के पास कोड़ा कार है, वो कभी कार में घूमने लगे।
तो वो दिन की जब याद आए तो बहुत सुकून लगता है यार, अपन बहुत अच्छे जगह पे अभी, अपन तो कुछ भी नहीं तो आज तो बहुत कुछ।
These industrial smart cities are just the beginning of a new era, with an aim to increase the industrial output, increasing the share of manufacturing in GDP, promoting exports and creating more and more employment opportunities. Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor Projects is laying the foundation of a new age India.
Some of the best names in construction business are involved in the project. What has been constructed certainly is of excellent quality. So there is a lot of reasons why we believe that what has been planned, which is a world-class infrastructure, is actually taking shape in front of us.
I think, the government has really taken a step forward and provided one window approach. It's a one-stop solution for all the industries where there is a web portal where we can go and apply for all the permissions or statutory approvals which are required.
We don't need to get environmental clearance. AITL already got permission from central government.
You apply and the computer tells you that these are the things which are not fitting into the law. After that, the computer gives you an approval.
Ease of doing business is really very good, and they are working like corporate and they are interacting with us like corporate. So we see that kind of interaction with them, which is always with the approach to find out solution or to provide solution to the industries like us.
The story of the new age smart industrial cities is being scripted in the heart of India, with a high speed and high capacity connectivity infrastructure of rail and road networks. Similarly, other industrial corridors are being planned and taken forward for implementation, namely Amritsar-Kolkata Industrial Corridor, Chennai-Bengaluru Industrial Corridor with extension to Kochi, Bengaluru-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, East Coast Economic Corridor with Vizag-Chennai Industrial Corridor as Phase 1, Hyderabad-Warangal Industrial Corridor, Hyderabad-Nagpur Industrial Corridor, Hyderabad-Bengaluru Industrial Corridor and Delhi-Nagpur Industrial Corridor, a new India is being built brick by brick on the backbone of a robust manufacturing sector. The dream is very close to becoming a reality. The vision is for a new India, which is future-ready and future-proof for all its 1.3 billion citizens.